Welcome everybody to our Feel Good yoga practice. Today our sequences will be focused on digestion. So we have 2 blocks and a bolster, or if you're practicing at home, some other stuff to help support you in our practice. So our first pose today will be a supported child's pose. So I'm demonstrating one way to kind of lift up a bolster, just if you're feeling a little tight in this spot or it's kind of hard to get yourself settled down, and aiming for a wide-legged child's pose today. This will work into the spleen and the stomach meridians from the Chinese medicine perspective that aid in our digestive. So knees wide. You can use the bolster in front of you to drape yourself down onto. So you might find that the 2 blocks are supportive underneath here. You might find that maybe just one, you want more of a ramp, or you might find that you don't really want or need a prop underneath you. Or maybe it's lifting up underneath the hips is more so what you're after. So you might choose to use one of the blocks to support the hips as we settle in to our wide-legged child's pose. Resting on one cheek, we'll spend 4 minutes in this posture, so I will let us know when it is time to switch to the other cheek. So starting to settle ourselves in here, I invite you to begin to feel the breath move through the body, starting with the sensation of the air around the nostrils. Just feeling that cool air move in through the nostrils, and that warmer air move out of the nostrils. As you allow the breaths to lengthen out, start to visualize that air moving down into the lungs. Maybe feeling the spread of the side body and the back body as you inhale. And that exhale, feel yourself sinking just deeper, softer into the prop or into the floor. Allowing that softness, the exhale to spread from the chest and the back into the arms, the legs, the feet, softening in through the jaw, the forehead. At the halfway point, so you can switch over to the other cheek if you are resting on a cheek. Now, if you would like a gentle adjustment in through the hips, you can give me a real quick little thumbs up. I will cruise around and provide those. Wonderful. You can lower the thumbs back down. And start to lift ourselves up out of this posture, pressing into the hands. Slowly help rise yourself up. We will come into our Virasana pose next. So the pose looks like we're sitting back on our heels with the left thighs towards each other. So if this is too much of a strain on the thighs or on the knees, you can use the blocks between the heels and sit yourself down there, either on the bolster or on a couple of the blocks. If you can easily sit down on the heels, you might try opening the heels out a little wider and sitting the hips down. So all kinds of different options. If you're sitting up on the block, go ahead and stay there. Just continue to bring the awareness to those thighs. If you are sitting down between the heels and you're looking for even more sensation, you can bring the hands back behind you, starting to lower the torso down at an angle. So keep the chest nice and broad here. Keep some engagement in through the throat if you are taking this kind of reclined position. Find something. We're only here for 2 minutes. So I invite you to feel into the shape. Using that breath, we brought it down in through the lungs in a child's pose. Now you can begin to imagine that you can breathe all the way down along the thighs to the knee joints. As we are here, you might find that moving down even a little bit lower onto the forearms might be where you'd like to take yourself. If you have a lot of experience with this Virasana pose, there might be an additional posture that might work best for you. If this becomes too intense in the back of the neck, just draw the chin towards the chest, or you can start to lift yourself back up. Good. Nice, slow, deep breaths here. We're already halfway through. Just notice where you are experiencing sensation. And continue to bring the breath visually or maybe just energetically to that location. So if you're feeling that tightness in through the chest or the throat, just visualize that breath helping to alleviate some of that tightness. If you're experiencing in through the lower back or in through the tops of the thighs, the knee joints, just continue to use that breath. Inhaling to bring in the healing energy and the exhale to press it into those locations. Last 2 rounds of deep breath here. Using your next exhale, we'll start to rise ourselves back up out of this posture and we'll meet up in our tabletop position. No need for any props here. You can just bring the hands underneath the shoulders and with the legs. settled underneath the hips, knees under hips. Lengthen out the left leg back behind you, planting the toes, stretching out nice and long, that left knee, stretching out the back of the calf, keeping the belly gently engaged. Just feel that stretch in through the back of the leg. Fantastic. Slowly lower that left knee back down and switch sides. Extends the right toes back behind you, lifting that left knee, keeping the toes planted. Just stretch and breathe into the back of that leg, lengthening out the spine, just finding our rebound posture here. Nice slow deep breath, and then slowly lower the right knee back down. So we're going to take our pigeon pose next with the support of a block or a bolster at the left side of the mat, and then we'll switch to the other side. If you already know that pigeon on the front side of the body is not comfortable for you, I invite you to take a figure 4 posture on your back. But moving the bolster towards the hip, for the middle of the body area. We're going to tuck our toes back behind us and push the hips up towards the sky, coming into our downward facing dog. Pushing those hips up and back. Feel the spread across the shoulders. Now start to get light in that left heel, starting to lift the left leg up towards the sky. Then as you exhale, draw that left knee in towards the chest. Rotating forward on the wrists, lower that left ankle down by the right wrist. And then we're going to lower the left knee down and support the hip on the bolster. Extend the right leg out nice and long back behind you. And take a moment to settle in. Might choose to stay nice and high here on the bolster. Or you might choose to bring maybe the forearms down onto the block, lowering yourself down, letting the head be nice and heavy, or bringing the forearms all the way down onto the floor, maybe resting the head on the block in front of you. We'll take 3 minutes on this side. Breathing in and out, nice and slow. Feeling the cycling of breath as it moves in through the nose, through the lungs, into the hips and down to the toes. As you exhale, you can pull that breath from the very tips of your toes, passing back up through the legs, the hips, the chest, and out the nostrils. Have our last 30 seconds here. A deep inhale. As you exhale, slowly coming out of the posture, pressing the hands down into the floor, tucking those right toes back behind you, lifting the hips up and bringing that left knee back to the right, planting the knees back down, give the hips a little shake from side to side, settling into our table position. I'm going to take this posture on the other side. So if you use the bolster on the left side or a block on the left side, you can bring it over towards the right. Coming into our pose from downward facing dog, tucking the toes back behind you. Exhale to push the hips up towards the sky. Press those hips up and back, stretching into the backs of the legs. Take a nice big inhale here, lifting the right heel up towards the sky. And as you exhale, rocking forward on the wrist, draw that right ankle down towards the left wrist and open the right knee out. The right hip comes to rest on that bolster or sinks down towards the floor. You can untuck the toes back behind you. Either choosing to stay upright in our proud pigeon or lowering down into our sleeping pigeon. Notice where the mind starts to go in our moments of stillness. Surveying our thoughts. Those nice, slow, deep breaths. Already more than halfway through here. Feeling the breath and being aware of our thoughts. Maybe starting to notice any patterns to our thoughts. Slowly starting to help ourselves up and out of this posture. Placing the hands down onto the mat, tucking the left toes behind you, lifting the hips up, planting the knees, and bringing both knees back to the floor, finding our tabletop position. Shaking the hips gently from side to side. And starting to move through our cat-cow. As you inhale, drop the belly towards the floor, lift the gaze towards the sky. Exhale, draw the belly in, gaze towards the navel, round. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze. Exhale to round. Last one here, inhale. And exhale. We'll start to take our barrel rolls on our hands and knees, our tabletop. So imagining that you're using your tummy and your back to scrape out the inside of a barrel. Switching the direction of the barrel rolls. And then transitioning into our bear pose, taking a few breaths here just to wiggle into the body, that intuitive, organic movement like a bear coming out of hibernation, just kind of shaking it off. Maybe there's some areas in through the hips, so the shoulders, the neck, the back, the arm. You might rest in child's pose. You might stretch the legs out more. You might take a back bend, just listening to the body and moving in accordance with the desires. Very good. Start to find our stillness again in table. The hands pressing down into the floor. We'll bend the elbows towards the back of the mat and slowly lower the chest all the way down onto the floor, taking a half push-up. Sending the legs out nice and long, hands underneath the shoulders, elbows squeezing towards the body. Inhale, rising up into our low cobra. Gazing up. Exhale, lower everything back down onto the floor. Great job. One more time, but more effort into the lower back and less into the hands. So squeeze the muscles of the legs, press the toenails into the floor. As you inhale, peel the chest up off the floor, lift the gaze up, and then maybe start to take some of the weight out of the hands. Maybe just tensing the fingers or completely lifting them. And then we'll exhale, lower everything back down onto the floor. Plant the knees back down into the ground, press into the palms, exhale, rise back up into your table, tuck the toes behind you, push the hips all the way up towards the sky, coming into our downward facing dog. From down dog, begin to pedal the feet left and right, stretching in through the backs of the legs. Maybe give the hips a little swish from side to side, kind of like a sassy dog walk. Starting to rein in our dog walk. Begin to walk the hands and the feet towards each other, meeting up in a forward fold. Nice softness into the knees as we dangle over the legs. You might grab opposite elbows here and enjoy a gentle sway from side to side. Nice, slow, deep breaths. Lengthen, nod the head, yes and no, just letting the head kind of dangle here, giving yourself some rotation into the tops of the head, maybe just find some circles left and right at the top of the head. And we'll release the bind of opposite elbows, increasing the bends in the knees, draw the belly in as you exhale. Begin to ragdoll yourself all the way back up through standing, stacking vertebrae on top of vertebrae. Roll the shoulders forward, up, back, and down. Bringing the fingers to stretch down towards the floor. A nice deep breath here. Feeling rooted into the feet, strong through the body, tall. Nice deep breath. On your inhale, lift the arms up overhead, lift the gaze up. Exhale to open up the arms, swan dive forward, hinge on the hips. Breathe the hands towards the shins. Inhale, rise up halfway, lengthening through the spine. And exhale, forward fold, soften and release. Inhale, rising ourselves all the way back up through standing, stacking vertebrae on top of vertebrae, arms come up, gaze up. Exhale, hands come down from heart center. Adding on from there, inhale, lift the arms up, lift the gaze up. Exhale, open up the arms, swan dive forward, hinge from the hips. Bring the hands towards the shins, inhale, rise up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees enough that you can plant the hands at the mat. Begin to walk the hands and the feet towards the tops and the backs of the mat, coming into our plank pose. So lengthen out the body, press into the palms, feel the shoulder blades spread on the back. Keep drawing the belly in, and as you exhale, either bend the knees or keep the knees lifted and slowly lower yourself down onto the mat. Put the hands underneath the armpit area, squeeze the elbows in towards the body. Inhale, rise up into that low cobra. Exhale, slowly lower the chest back down towards the floor. Bend the knees, push into the palms. Exhale, press yourself back up into the table, tuck the toes. Exhale, push the hips all the way up towards the sky, downward facing dog. Take a nice, slow, deep breath here, in and out. With your next exhale, begin to walk the hands and the feet again towards each other, meeting up at the back of the mat. In our forward fold, nice soft roundness in through the back. Bring the hands to the shins. Inhale, rise up halfway, lengthening the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise yourself all the way back up through standing, stacking vertebrae on top of vertebrae. Arms come up, gaze up. Exhale, hands come down through heart center. Great job. Inhale to reach the arms up overhead. Like we're grabbing a big beach ball overhead. We're going to press down into the feet nice and evenly. Feeling that engagement into the legs, a little softness into the knees, squeezing the glute muscles, draw the belly in. Now we're going to start to pass this beach ball over towards the left. We're going to tilt the beach ball over towards the left, start to push the hips over towards the right. Begin to feel the weight distribution in the feet, noticing if one foot maybe is holding more weight, try to even that out. Continue to push the hips over towards the right as you reach the beach ball towards the left. Draw the belly in and exhale, rise yourself all the way back up. Take a nice inhale at the top. Now exhale, pass the beach ball towards the right. Hips go towards the left, root down in through the feet, nice and even. Feel that weight distribution, maybe a little rotation into the collarbones. Breathe steady and slow in and out. Feel those organs inside the body. Get a gentle compression. The core is engaged. Draw the belly in. Exhale, slowly rise yourself all the way back up through standing. Take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, or release the hands back behind us. You can interlace the hands down by the hips, draw the knuckles down, spread through the collarbones, taking this into a back bend. Start to push the hips forward, start to lift the chest up towards the sky, lift the gaze up towards the sky. Maybe push the hips forward a little bit more, gaze back just a little bit more, draw the belly in, and exhale, rise yourself all the way back up through standing. Take an inhale at the top. Exhale, coming into a bound forward fold, lowering the torso down, lifting the knuckles up, softening and releasing. Keep a gentle softness into the knees. Allow the arms to stretch. Nice, slow, deep breath here. Bring the knuckles back down towards the hips. Push into the feet. Slowly ragdoll yourself all the way back up through standing. Release the bind of the hands. Roll the shoulders forward, up, back, and down. Finding our Tadasana mountain pose. Just feeling that length in through the spine, that awakeness in through the legs. Fantastic. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead, lift the gaze up. Exhale, open up the arms, swan dive forward, hands. Bring the hands towards the shins. Inhale, rise up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees enough that you can plant the hands on the floor, walk out into your plank pose. Pausing in your plank pose, press the mat away, draw the belly in. As you exhale, make your way down onto the floor, either with the knees planted or the knees lifted. Lower yourself down, nice and slow, coming to rest on the tummy. Untuck the toes, press into the palms, rise up into your low cobra as you inhale. Exhale, lower yourself all the way back down. We're gonna rise ourselves back up into our tabletop, pressing into the hands and knees, tuck the toes back behind you, push the hips up towards the sky, downward facing dog. Take 3 rounds of breath here, nice and slow, in and out. At the bottom of your third exhale, begin to walk the hands and the feet back towards each other, meeting up in a forward fold at the back of the mat. Soften the knees, dangle here for a moment. And bring the hands towards the shins as you inhale, lengthen the spine, lift yourself up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to rise yourself all the way back up. You're standing, stacking vertebrae on top of vertebrae, arms come up, gaze up. Exhale, hands come down through heart center. Beautiful work. Keeping the hands at heart center, root down in through the right foot. Squeeze the right thigh, squeeze the right glute. Staring at a non-moving spot, start to get light in the left foot, coming up onto that left toe. Maybe choosing to lift the left knee up. We're going to take a big step forward with this left foot. 2.5 feet. We're going to scooch that left foot forward, just heel toe it just a little bit more, and then swivel the back foot so it's parallel-ish with the short edge of the mat. We're going to find our warrior two, starting to bend that left knee over the left ankle, sitting the hips down, take a little tuck of the tailbone, take a peek down, and see if you can see your toes beyond the knee. If you can't, scooch that front foot forward just a little bit more. It just helps preserve that knee joint. As you're ready, extend the arms out towards the short edges of the mat, gazing over the left fingers, but keeping the collarbones kind of shining towards the long edge of the mat. Sinking down nice and slow. Imagine that you're getting pulled slightly backwards by those right fingers. Wonderful adjustments. Now we're going to take our dancing warrior for that aid in digestion. Start to flip the left palm towards the sky. Inhale, reach the left hand up towards the sky, right hand comes towards the back right thigh, creating a rainbow shape in through the body. With our exhale, come back into warrior two. Feel that core engage. Now moving into extended side angle pose. Bring the left forearm to the left thigh, leaning forward. Draw the right arm in and then extend it along the right ear. Getting that openness across the collarbones, arm and the leg in one nice long angle. Beautiful work. With your next exhale, rise back up into warrior two. Inhale to straighten the front knee. Now we're going to take that dancing warrior without the breaks for warrior two in between the reverse warrior and the extended side angle pose. So it'll look more like a dance as we're going from side to side. Arms extended out nice and long. Start to rebend that front knee, sinking down into our warrior two. Inhale, flip the palm, reverse the warrior, bringing the arm up and back. Great job. Exhale, extended side angle pose. Left forearm, left thigh, right arm extends along the right ear. Beautiful. One more time like that. Inhale, reverse the warrior, bring that left arm up and over. And then exhale, extended side angle pose. Beautiful dancing warriors. Inhale to rise into our warrior two. Next, inhale, straighten the front knee, bring the hands in through heart center. Swivel the toes to shine toward the short edges of the mat. We'll pull the heels in towards each other one time and drop the hands down towards the thighs. Taking a twisted goddess pose here, start to bend the knees, sitting the hips down, kind of like we're riding a horse. Keep the torso nice and tall here, keep the belly engaged. Feel evenly rooted from the heels into the toe mounds. Slowly start to rotate the right shoulder down towards the floor, gazing over the left shoulder. So getting a twist in through the core, keep drawing the belly in, stay nice and long in through the spine. And exhale, bring yourself back through center. And then lower the left shoulder, gaze over the right. Great job. Bring yourself back through center. Push into the feet. Slowly rise to stand. Heel toe the feet towards each other. And then take a step towards the back of the mat. Find your Tadasana mountain pose. Feet parallel. Spine nice and long. Fingers extend towards the floor. Take a moment to notice the rate of your breath. The rate of your heartbeat. Feeling any sensations in through the body. Beautiful. Inhale, lift the arms up overhead, lift the gaze up. Exhale, open up the arms, swan dive forward, hinge in the hips. Bring the hands towards the shins. Inhale, rise up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees enough to plant the hands. Walk the hands out, coming into our plank pose again. Press the mat away. Keep the belly drawn in. As you exhale, lower yourself down towards the floor. Untucking the toes, pressing to the palms. Inhale, rise up for low cobra. Exhale, forward fold. Push into the knees, push into the palms, rise up to table, tuck the toes back behind you, push the hips up towards the sky, downward facing dog. 3 rounds of breath here. Nice, slow, deep breaths. Then at the bottom of your third exhale, begin to walk the hands and the feet towards each other in our forward fold. Taking a moment to dangle here. We'll bring the hands towards the shins. Inhale, rise up halfway, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to rise ourselves all the way back up through standing, stacking vertebrae on top of vertebrae, arms come up, gaze up. Exhale, hands come down through heart center. Great work. Root down in through that left foot, squeeze the left thigh, squeeze the left glute, staring at that non-moving spot, our dristi. We'll start to get light in the right foot, maybe choosing to lift that right knee up, playing with the balance. As you exhale, take a big step forward with that right foot, up 2.5 feet. We're gonna rotate that back foot so it's parallel-ish with the short edge of the mat, and then start to heel toe that right foot forward just a little bit more. We want a nice wide stance here. Start to bend the right knee over the right ankle. Take a little peek down, make sure that you can still see your knee or your toes beyond your knee. So very gentle, like, okay, those are. And then as you're ready, extend the arms out towards the short edge of the mat. Draw the shoulders down, feel like you're getting pulled gently backwards, gaze over those right fingers. Breathe steady and slow. Settle yourself in here. Building our dancing warrior, flip the right palm, inhale, reach that right hand up towards the sky, left hand comes towards left thigh, reaching up and back. With the exhale, coming back into our warrior 2. Finding that balance, that stability. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, coming into our extended side angle pose. Right forearm, right thigh, left arm extends along the left ear. That gentle rotation of the collarbones towards the short edge or the long edge of the mat. Creating that nice long line of energy from the fingertips down to the left ankle. Nice slow deep breath. With your next exhale, draw the belly in, rise back up into our warrior 2. Inhale, straighten the front knee. Nice slow deep breath. Okay, 2 rounds of our dancing warrior without the warrior 2s in between. Deep inhale here. Exhale, coming into our warrior 2, bend that front knee. Inhale, reverse the warrior, flip the palm, bring those right arms up and over. Exhale, coming into our extended side angle pose. Reach those left fingers along the left ear, that rotation there. Great work. Inhale, reverse the warrior. Lifting that right arm up and over. Exhale, extended side angle pose. Beautiful. Inhale, rise up into warrior 2. And straighten that front knee. Bring the hands towards the hips or towards heart center. Rotate those right toes so they're also parallel-ish to the short edge of the mat. We're taking our wide-legged forward fold here. So as you exhale, keep the legs straight but not hyperextended. Draw the belly in, begin to hinge forward from the hips. Slowly lowering the torso down, down, down between the legs. You might release the hands down towards the thighs, the ankles, maybe the floor. Allow yourself to lengthen here. Nice slow deep breath. I'm going to start to bring a little side-to-side movement into our wide-legged forward fold. So either with the hands on the floor or bound on the legs, start to draw the belly in and rotate the torso over towards the right leg. Like we're slow motion pendulum, just bringing that torso towards the right leg. Slowly bring yourself back through center. And then the torso towards the left leg. Nice, slow, deep breath. We'll exhale, come back through center. Add a gentle bend to the knees, draw the belly in, slowly ragdoll yourself all the way back up through standing. Roll the shoulders forward, up, back and down. Nice, slow, deep breath. Heel to the feet towards each other. Take a step towards the back up. Find our Tadasana mountain pose. Feet plant down into the floor, fingers extend towards the floor. Nice length in through the spine. Bring the hands together, interlacing the fingers, squeeze the forearms together, bring the hands underneath the chin. With the inhale, lift the elbows up towards the sky. As you exhale, tilt the head back, sigh out the breath, squeeze the forearms together. 3 more times like that. Inhale, bring the head to neutral, lift the elbows up nice and high. Exhale, tilt the head back, side out. Inhale. And exhale. Last one. Exhale. As you inhale, bring the head back to neutral, release the hands, take a moment with the eyes closed or the gaze softly lower, just feeling in through the body, noticing sensations, vibrations, tingling, stretches, warmth, whatever it is. Start to blink the eyes back open. And we'll transition ourselves into our restorative practice. So we'll use a block and a bolster to create a ramp at the back of our mat. So bringing the block towards the back and the bolster over that to create a little ramp. We're coming into deer pose. So if you find that you don't need a block or bolster to get comfortable in that position, no need. And we'll start with the right side for our deer pose. We'll bring the right hip towards one side of the bolster and kind of the knee of that right side over towards the other side. So kind of the bolster is right in between the two center of the thigh. I'm going to bend the knees and lower them down. And we're going to push into our hands to help lengthen the spine here, feeling nice and tall. And as you exhale, rotate from the torso, rotating the collarbones to shine over the bolster. Start to walk the hands out along the bolster, lowering the torso down, resting on the right cheek. Forearms rest on the floor. Now you might choose to keep both knees bent like this, or you might choose to extend the left leg out, just allowing the knee to rest on the floor. Settling ourselves in here, you might also choose to start to walk that right foot out gently towards the right. If you want just a little bit more gentle sensation in through the hips. Now we'll be here for 7 minutes per side. So allow yourself all the little wiggles and fidgets. Maybe wiggling the toes, stretching out the wrists, spinning the shoulders, maybe adjusting the hips a little bit this way or that. So you can become just 2% more comfortable. You can close the eyes. And we'll start to lengthen out the breath. Feeling that breath move in and out, nice and slow. As you notice and are more and more aware of our breath, you'll notice that in addition to the inhale and the exhale, there is a brief pause in between the inhale and the exhale, and the exhale and the inhale. So instead of our breath being two-sided, just inhale and exhale, we've got actually 4 sides: the inhale, the pause, the exhale, and the pause. So take a few rounds of breath here, starting to notice that brief pause. And then starting to increase the amount of time that we're spent hovering in that pause. Feeling more and more comfortable holding the retention of the breath and that emptiness at the bottom of the exhale. Seeing these moments as valuable in our breath work practice. Now, I'd like to share a prosperity meditation that came to me through a Kundalini yoga practice. And it uses those retentions of the breath to repeat this meditation to ourselves mentally. So at the top of the inhale, we hold that retention and we repeat to ourselves, I am bountiful, I am blissful, I am beautiful. At the bottom of the exhale, when we are holding that retention, we can repeat to ourselves mentally, excel, excel, fearless. Continuing that cycle. Inhaling fully, pausing at the top. I am bountiful. I am blissful. I am beautiful. Exhaling, pausing at the bottom. Excel, excel, fearless. Inhaling fully, pausing at the top. I am bountiful. I am blissful. I am beautiful. Exhaling fully, pausing at the bottom. Excel, excel, fearless. Now we can take the remaining 2 minutes in this side to mentally repeat these words to ourselves, using that retention of the breath at the top and the bottom. Or you might choose to simply feel your breath, feel the shape of the body, and become aware of the movements of our mind. Take one more round of breath, finishing at the bottom of the exhale. Slowly helping ourselves up and out of this posture, pressing into the palms, slowly lifting the torso up off the mat, rotating ourselves around and coming to the other side. Bringing the left hip be centered into the bolster. Knees are bent, pushing into the palms to help lengthen the spine. As you exhale, slowly lower the torso down onto the bolster, settling in onto the left cheek. Again, the options with the legs, you might choose to extend the right leg out, keeping that knee resting on the floor. You might choose to walk that left heel out just a little bit. Taking any of those wiggles or fidgets that just help you become a little bit more comfortable as we settle in here for the next 7 minutes. Now, as we rest on this side, I invite you to create a dedication or intention of your own. Our sankalpa, our heartfelt desire, using positive language and the present tense with statements like I am or it is. If you'd like, you can use the prosperity meditation that we did on the previous slide, or come up with something of your own, something that you've been working towards. Allowing this dedication or intention to just bathe your mind with those positive feelings. You might bring to mind the sensations you'll experience when that dedication has come to pass. But allow them to feel like they are present. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you smell? Just visualizing that dedication or intention. And allow yourself to feel it through the body. Notice where the mind is. Without any judgment, you can gently bring it back to your intention or your dedication. Slowly start to bring a little bit of movement back into our fingers and our toes. As you take your next exhale, push into the palms and slowly, gently rise yourself up off the bolster, coming to meet in a gentle seated posture. The eyes closed or the gaze softly lowered. Taking a moment just to feel into the body. Feeling the state of mind. Taking an inhale nice and deep through the nose. Open the mouth and sigh it out. Again, like that. Inhale. And sigh it out. Next inhale, lift the arms up overhead. Exhale to draw the hands down through heart center. May our practice be of benefit to all beings. Thank you. Namaste.